Hello listeners and welcome back. Today we are going to be discussing 10 sequel recommendations. Whether this is the second installment of the franchise or the fourth or fifth, they will be included in this video. Animations will not be included in this video, and only movies that were released in 2020 to 2023 will be included. Coming in at number 10, we have The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, an action comedy that was released in June of 2021 and is the second installment of the franchise. It brings back all of our faves from the original film, such as Selma Hayek, Ryan Reynolds, and Samuel L. Jackson, including a few newcomers like Morgan Freeman and Antonio Banderas. For the second installment, Darius Kincaid has been kidnapped, leaving his wife Sonia to seek help from their former bodyguard Michael Bryce. Before he realizes it, Bryce is roped into rescuing Kincaid. After rescuing Darius, however, the fight is still not over, as the trio must stop a madman from launching a terror attack on Europe. This movie flung us back into the world with full force and all new adventures and even higher stakes at risk. This film had them working more as a trio, and we follow that dynamic rather than just the two like in the first film. It kept us laughing as it still held its comedic element, as well as kept us engaged with its non-stop action sequences. Coming in at number 9, we have Jurassic Park World Domination, an action sci-fi released in June of 2022. World Domination was the sixth and final installment of the Jurassic Park's franchise. With this new installment, we get to see all of our favorites from the franchise reunite for the film, all reprising their roles for this final installment. Taking place 5 years after Fallen Kingdom, humans and dinosaurs now coexist. We follow Owen and Claire as they embark on a rescue mission to save Charlotte. Meanwhile, Alan, Ellie, and Ian investigate the mysterious patterns happening in the animals' behavior. I think they did a very good job and was thoroughly pleased with the final installment of the Jurassic Park's franchise. We even finally had the pleasure of watching the old gang and the new gang meet for the first time on screen, but also battle it out and survive together, making it a very nostalgic and wholesome ending to the franchise. Next is number 8, we have Expendables 4, an action-adventure that was released in September of 2023. Expendables 4 is the fourth movie in the Expendables franchise. We got to see some of our original comers come back, like Sylvester Stallone as Barney and Jason Statham as Christmas. We even got some newcomers like Megan Fox and Andy Garcia, to name a few. In this installment of the franchise, we watch the Expendables as they try to prevent a mercenary from selling a nuclear weapon to a mysterious terrorist. The mission goes horribly wrong when the team is ambushed, resulting in multiple casualties. Due to jeopardizing the mission and trying to save his friends, Christmas is kicked off the Expendables. He is then replaced by Gina, played by Megan Fox, and Christmas's love interest throughout the movie. The Expendables continue with their mission and try and stop the sale before it's too late. Christmas is never far behind, however, as he is tracking the team every step of the way. Expendables 4 was not considered a smash hit when it came to critics. I will admit it didn't hold its torch as much as the first 3 films, but I didn't think it was a complete flop either. The overall plot wasn't outstandingly unique, but it was still fine. I loved seeing Megan Fox in another badass role. Jason Statham was still on point as Christmas, as were all of his action fights and sequences. So even though it wasn't a smash hit, if you were a fan of the first 3 films, I still recommend this one, as it is still a good watch and you should enjoy. Next at number 7, we have No Time to Die, an action-adventure released in November of 2021. No Time to Die is the final installment of Daniel Craig's 007 James Bond franchise. We follow Bond after he has left MI6 and is now living a peaceful life in Jamaica. However, a call from an old friend gets him thrust back into his old life in active service, and back into the world of danger and mayhem. This installment gave us some familiar faces with stars like Rami Malek and Ana de Armas. I feel like this one held the most shocking twists and turns out of the rest in the franchise, and was thoroughly enjoyable and done really well for the final installment. Next, coming in at number 6, we have Bad Boys for Life, an action comedy released in January of 2020. Bad Boys for Life is the third installment in the Bad Boys franchise. For this installment, Mike and Marcus must join the police department's special team in order to catch the mysterious killer out for Mike's life. We watch the boys back at it again with a whole new team and a whole new set of problems. The boys discover new twists and unlock hidden secrets, revealing maybe they don't know everything about each other. Overall, Bad Boys for Life was another great installment to the franchise, giving us plenty of action, twists and turns, while still keeping Mike and Marcus's beloved bromance alive. Next at number 9, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an action-adventure released in May of 2023, and is the third and final installment of the Guardians franchise. For this installment, the team is facing their toughest challenge yet, with Peter still reeling over the loss of Gamora, an all-new threatening enemy on the rise, and them scrambling to do everything they can to save Rocket's life before it is too late. This installment took a much more emotional turn than the first 2 films. We follow Rocket as he fights for his life after being badly injured. We watch as he relives through his past and all he had to experience and endure before joining the Guardians. Meanwhile, the Guardians are doing everything they can to save Rocket and the galaxy. This movie gave us a little bit of everything from laughter to sadness to adventure to stress. It was a good, entertaining story with a clean wrap-up to end off the franchise. Taking the spot at number 4, we have John Wick Chapter 4, an action thriller that was released in March of 2023. For this final installment, the stakes are higher now for John than they were ever. With the bounty on his head continuously growing and endless assassins out to get him, can Wick finally find a way to make it all end? Well, he tries by challenging the high table and seeking out some of the most powerful players of the underworld. Keanu Reeves did it again with another endless action-packed chapter of John Wick. He kept us engaged with his crazy and never-ending action sequences, and kept us hooked with the burning question, how will John finally find a way out? Overall, it is a thrilling new chapter and is bound to keep you on the edge of your seat. Coming in at number 3, we have Equalizer 3, an action thriller that was released in September of 2023. Equalizer 3 is the third and final installment of Denzel Washington's Equalizer franchise. Robert, a retired government assassin that still finds time to help out the innocent. Bleeding out, Robert finds himself nursed back to health by a doctor from a small town in South Italy. After spending some time in this small town, Robert finds peace and begins to build a home for himself. That is until he discovers that the town is under the control of a local crime boss. In order to protect his friends and new home, Robert must take on the mafia. Denzel absolutely knocked it out of the park with this never-before-seen action thriller. The action sequences in this film were next level and gruesome. Denzel's performance was very engaging and thrilling. Even the scoring to this movie was on point, making the scenes that much more bone-chilling. We even get a Man on Fire reunion with Dakota Fanning making an appearance. Overall, Equalizer 3 knocked it out of the park, was absolutely next level. It was a perfect way to end off the series and really recommend. Taking the place at number 2, it is none other than Top Gun Maverick, an action-adventure released in May of 2022. Top Gun Maverick is the second movie in the franchise. After 30 years in the service, Maverick is assigned an all-new impossible mission. Maverick must train a group of elite Top Gun graduates for a high-stakes mission and only a small time to do it. Top Gun Maverick was beyond anything and everything people wanted and or hoped for. It completely blew everyone away and didn't take it long to become everyone's new favorite movie. And you might as well have been at a real air show, the experience was that intense. We got to see Tom Cruise come back as Maverick and even Val Kilmer reprise his role as Iceman. It even helped skyrocket some new faces to fame like Glenn Powell and Miles Teller. It is truly a perfect film with not a single bad thing to say. And of course, taking the number 1 spot, we have Avatar: Way of Water, a science fiction released in December of 2022. It took 13 years, but we finally got it, the sequel to the most beloved film of all time, Avatar. And it was certainly worth the wait, as James Cameron delivered everything and more with the second installment. Jake and Neytiri have now formed a family. But with the humans back on Pandora, the war now rages on. In order to protect and keep his family together, Jake must take his family and leave his home to explore other regions of Pandora, such as the Water Clans. For this installment, we explore a whole new world of water. We get to meet new clans, animals, traditions, and much more. We get to watch Jake and Neytiri continue their story as a couple and now a family. We got to watch their kids experience new adventures and create their own stories. This movie for sure delivered and had you feeling everything from sadness to happiness, loss and hope. Avatar: Way of Water was worth the wait. Gave us everything and more that we could have hoped, leaving us content but still wanting more. That is all I have for you this video. Let me know if you want more recommendation videos like this. What were some of the movies on the list that you liked or maybe didn't like? And what are some you think I should have included? Also, let me know if you wanted a more in-depth review on any of the movies I have mentioned. That is all for this episode. As always, everything we discussed will be linked below along with my socials. Please be sure to like, subscribe and follow. Feel free to leave all your thoughts and comments below. Thanks for listening.